Alright, so now we're going to make the puzzle cube box, and to make that you have to use a series of rectangles, but there's a couple things to be careful of because we are going to be using a laser engraver. If you feel like you already watched this video, probably changed it on you, so be aware of that. Let's see here, we need to make this a little bit bigger than 2.25, so let's go 2.25 plus, let's give it a quarter of an inch, 0.125. Oop, not 1.25, 0.125. Alright, so that's how tall one square should be, 2.375. We're just going to click and, not dimension, click and drag this out, so this looks about right. And we're going to use lines instead of rectangles. And the main reason is I don't want to overlap any of my lines. Like if you use a rectangle, if I drew a rectangle inside of here, from here to here, now this line from this rectangle is overlapping this line from this big rectangle, and that's no good. The laser's going to freak out about that, and the whole thing will stop. Alright, we do want them all to be the same size. We want them to be squares. So let's come up with something kind of simple we can use here. And again, you want to make sure this will fit onto a piece of paper. So this can be no longer than 11 and no wider than 8. I'm just referencing this dimension. In case I ever wanted to change all of the squares, I would just change this one dimension and they would all change with it. Alright, so we have a top, side, bottom, side. And we should probably add a dimension to this one. Alright, let's just double check. All of these add up to 9.5. So if that's the 11 side, that should be fine. Let's go ahead and this time I will use a rectangle, but I need you to pay careful attention to what I'm doing right here. Going to trim. I'm removing one of those line sections. It's clicked on it once. Don't click and drag, so then we'll get rid of both of them. So trim, single click. Okay. Let's dimension this out. That to be the same as this D0. I want this to be the same as D0. This is a really basic, kind of boring puzzle cube box combination, but this is less than 8.5, and this is less than 11. Now, this isn't going to entirely work unless we give it some tabs. So you can come up with these on your own. Easy way to do this is if you draw something up kind of like this, and then you go to a vertical constraint, you find the little green dot on each one of these, top and bottom. It'll line these up for you. It'll make it to where those are the same. Okay, you want to put these on both sides. Again, you want to be able to put the entire box together with glue and not tape. So think about where things would have to be glued together. If things start to get off on you, you can use a horizontal constraint like this. Click on the line. Oh, that's why. This was never actually attached to here. So let's go back and attach that. So that has to be attached to there. Vertical constraint, let's straighten these lines up. That's looking much better. And then vertical constraint on the two little green dots. That's looking good. If I want to constrain on these dots, I can make those about the same. And just double check that your overall width is still less than 8.5. I'm not. 8.7. So I can click and drag these down and test it again. There we go, 7.8. That's less than 8.5. Good. So you're probably going to need more tabs in this, but this isn't the important part. So let's just save this And oh yeah, we have to finish sketch mode. So finish your sketch mode. It'll be in with the other puzzle cube stuff. I already have it packaged. I started to demo, but we'll call this package 2. So I made some changes. All right, let's go new drawing. You have to change the sheet size to A. So edit your sheet. Make this A size paper, 8.5 by 11. Click OK. Right click, delete your border. Right click, delete ANSI large. Base. I can't see mine. Mine's going to be the top. Yours might be left or right. You have to find whichever view it belongs in. And you're going to save this right away as a DXF file. To do that, you go up to this big I, you select Save As, but don't click on it. Go to Save Copy As. You want to change this to a DXF file, which is here. And then instead of saving it in your stuff, I want you to rename it with your last name and maybe even first name, last name. We're going to put on the shared drive. So go into Shared, BCHS, PLTW, IED, and inside of here you have this one for packages. Double click on packages. You're going to rename this with your name. And you have permissions to save files into this folder. It's one of the few where I changed the permissions on. So as soon as that's saved, then we can start to do stuff. Now when you go to base, just like before, you can go and search for your solution here. Open this up. If you go half scale, it should fit. You want an isometric view. And you probably want that to be shaded, so go back and make it shaded if you need to. As far as getting words and text and stuff on here, just go to Annotate. Here's your text button. Type in using whatever font you want, not Wingdings. I don't know. Let's find something. And whatever size you want. So there's my puzzle cube. Now if I need to, I can right click on this and I can rotate this 90 degrees. I can just keep rotating around if it was supposed to be facing some other direction. Okay. If you want to put in a barcode or something, you go up to Manage, Insert Object. We want to search for a Word file. So there's just Microsoft Word document. Click OK. It makes a new one called Document in Package 2, and you can open up a new web page. And I might search for cool barcodes. And let's say I like this one. Right click, copy, paste. Go back to your inventor document. You have this little window where you can click somewhere and paste it in. But now we need to stretch it. And you may have to rotate it if this isn't facing the right direction. Otherwise, make sure you have your other things on your checklist, including your country of manufacture, name for it, your name, warnings, price. That might be about it. Just go through your checklist. Make sure you have everything you're supposed to have. When you're ready to print this, though, before you print, I want you to delete this view 1 over here. So you will only be printing the colored stuff. We're going to save the DXF file to cut out with the laser engraver. We're going to print out this so it's on regular paper, combine the two, and you'll have a specialized package for your puzzle cube. Good luck.